This little flexible tripod is getting put to good use already. Even though I really hope this camera picks up, like, I needed to pick up good qua. I needed to pick up like good sound because it's using my front camera but the back microphone, because apparently the back microphone has like better quality. So I just got off the phone with Zaina. I wonder how I'm gonna do this because I kind of want to record what I'm doing on my iPad and talk at the same time. I guess we'll just screen record it, do it just like that. Kind of in the middle of doing this anyway, so I just got off the phone with Zaina. We had a conversation. It was mainly just her telling me about how she felt disrespected, how she felt, and it wasn't like she was sad at the moment or, you know, angry in any way, shape, or form. It was more or less just like she was in a state of almost acceptance, and then she was more or less calm, like not really affected anymore by anything that I did. And you know, when I hear about this and really like how this affected her, even though she wasn't feeling this in the moment anymore, when I really just hear about how this affected her, I'm probably not even gonna put this screen recording because I'm too busy on talking and thinking. When I think about how this affected her, I think about, or it really puts a feeling in my stomach where I'm like, one, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I would say this. And it's not like anything, it's not like I outright was manipulative. It's not like I was manipulative. It's not like I was abusive in any way. It's not like I was anything like that could really like send somebody down the. I wasn't bad, I would say. I didn't have bad intentions. But I guess it was more or less just the fact of how I handled the situation. The situation was I was talking to her and then found interest in another girl. Wasn't looking for that interest in another girl, but I just so happened to find interest in that other girl. Really, I had interest in her for a while, but I was just gonna wait and let things play out in terms of like seeing how we grow or seeing how she grows. Don't even worry about it for real. But regardless, I had interest in two girls, basically. I had an interest in two girls. But I was going to leave one to the side. Leave one to the side, that sounds bad. But I was going to wait and pursuing the other. And I was just seeing what, you know, I was just following this interest with Zaina. You know, as I say it right now, I probably I don't even know what's the best answer. I don't even know what's the best thing to do, because if you have interest in one person, there's a but to that. If there's a but to that, that makes you not pursue that interest, or that, you know, makes you not want to pursue that interest, and you find interest in another person, should you not go pursue that other person? Should you? Or I guess it's not that you shouldn't. It's just how you handle the situation. And I guess I didn't really handle it that well. But yeah, Zane and I started talking, went on a few dates, and then turns out, just so happened to be the way things played out, she conveyed interest. The other girl conveyed interest too. I'm like, oh wow, ain't that something? Now what do I do? Now what do I do? And I think at that moment, what Zaina says right now is that at least I could have said something to Zaina about, you know, this interest in the other girl, which, yeah, I mean, I do value honesty a lot. you know, at the time, it didn't really feel like it was something that I should even, I had to mention, because this is what communication is for, because I can say that, yeah, we didn't talk about whether we're exclusively talking to one another or showing interest in other people, but you know, that is a conversation that needs to be had, whether you're exclusively talking to one person. Like, I have no problem exclusively talking to one person. I have no problem exclusively showing interest and pursuing one person. I have no problem doing that. But unless you have that conversation, then things can get left up in the air. Who knows what the other person is doing unless y'all talk about it. So yeah, I will say that I probably should have talked about that with her, and at least just let her know that, hey, I'm talking to somebody else, and it's this person. It's not like I hooked up with that other girl, but that's just how it was. And then, you know, hearing about just in retrospect, hearing about everything that we would talk about, in terms of like going to her home country. There's all that. It's like when I hear back about it, if I would have watched this on a reality TV show like a Love Island or like a Love Is Blind, I'd be like, damn, that nigga's nasty. But the nigga in question will be me. But it wasn't like I had bad intentions, regardless, though. And I think it's because I didn't know where either one would go, if they would go anywhere. But that just really comes with like honesty and open communication, because I mean, it's understandable to not know if something will go somewhere. You might want it to, but there's just some things that might be out of your control, or just you know, just due to the circumstance or situation, you might not know if it will go where you would like it to go, especially when it comes to like a relationship. But you know, in this case, should I go put a shirt on? No. What? I only know one person who's gonna be watching this, maybe two, but that two has already seen me. Yeah, that's what open communication is for. You know, I think the biggest thing that I can take away from this, you know, with not having like done too deep pondering about it and reflection yet, keyword, is that honest, always honest. Just communicate where you're at mentally, where you're at romantically, emotionally. Just communicate. I communicate pretty well, but in terms of like letting the person know, if you're talking to other people, and then like consider, like I think in my last relationship with Deja, there's a few times where I just didn't consider her in like my decisions or even in my thoughts. I mean, and there was reasons as to why that happened, but the reason I chalked it up to before was that I didn't really I didn't really have deep feelings for her like that. But even like deep feelings doesn't really come with, like, you still care for somebody though. I do care for her. You know, I wish for her well-being and whatnot. But it showed up right now, and just with the Xana situation where, you know, my words, you know, actions may not have aligned with the care that I actually have for her feelings and just her as a person. They're playing some good music up there. When I'm feeling in the atmosphere. But yeah, when my actions didn't really align with what I was feeling. Now that I say that, that might be the last point that I talk about with Zaina. But this internal validation and internal motivation thing. I'm glad that this is something that is brought up on my mind right now, and that I'm really like. I'm glad that this is something at the forefront of my thoughts right now. Because Zaina brought that up too. She didn't bring it up, but I brought up just some of my thoughts about, everything works out for so many different reasons. It's like, it's insane how things work out, and it's just like the ways that something plays out is exactly the way it's supposed to, because it puts you in different positions to either learn, to come up with a new revelation. Why does this keep making noise? Like, shut up. Revelation, something. Like, everything works out in so many different ways. But I've been thinking about this internal motivation thing, and then I brought it up to Zaina just as like this conversation. It's like someone that was on my mind. And then she was like, yeah, Clarence, to be honest, I think you have been a little bit externally motivated for a while. And I mean, say what you want. Future Clarence might look at this moment and be like, wow, I was, pointing to something. But as soon as she said that, it peaked. Like, I was listening to what she had said before. I mean, I had to be, because that's why I felt all these like emotions about like what she was saying and how I treated her. But when she said that about my internal versus external motivation, like, I was listening 100%, but then 150% I started listening, because this was something that I had thought about already and have been, working through right now, and still am. But the fact that she sees it too. Essentially, what she said was, Clarence, you know how to create. You are very creative. I'm gonna throw my own pizzazz into there. She didn't say this, but Clarence, you are like one of the most creative people in existence. If I just say so myself. But for these past few months, she's only known me for a few months. We had one class together. I started off in January. It's June. She's only known me for a few months. But for the past few months, she might have seen like some of these projects that I've been working on and how I talk. She said how I talk about my projects, how I talk about myself, and how I talk about other people and their projects and stuff. It comes from a place that's very, if I remember exactly what she said, it was my idea of success, and the things that where I judge and criticize myself based off of like success, and then other people's projects and other people's work she thinks could come from this idea that's passed around within like IYA, and that's the school that I'm at, Ivana Young Academy, or even what I've heard online or just heard within this creative space. And some of the people that I talk to, in my mind, another factor that could be Dad and his idea of success, and that being like just financially, you're making a lot of money basically. But she said, and one thing that I did notice that she said was, I have this own internal idea of what success is, and she doesn't think that I've been acting based off of my own internal idea of success, but really external ideas of success. And that is something that I think I talked about in the last video, and then maybe the video prior was like, that I haven't been acting on that internal idea of success and creating things just for myself. I mean, it's definitely gonna take some work and time. My voice got a little shaky, but for no real reason. It's gonna take some work and time to realign myself on my own internal ideas of success and really abandon the external ideas of success and external metrics. Like she even talked about like how I measure my success externally versus internally. They're bringing it back to my own thoughts. External metrics of success being like the amount of not even the amount of views, but the amount of followers, the amount of recognition, the amount of praise that I get. That's all external. The amount of money that I make, that's all external. But let me take a second right now and actually think about it and actually feel out what feels like my internal metric of success. What would feel successful for myself? And and honestly, at the first thought that I have is the thing that would make me the most successful personally is me just taking whatever's up here, this medulla oblongata, and carrying that out into whatever shape or form it is. And you know, the first thought that comes after that is like, well, I gotta have money to do this. Well, it's okay though. The money will come to be able to do this stuff. I guess don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about money. Money's not even like a real thing, to be honest. Money's not even like a real thing. Like dollars, it's not a real thing. Same thing as paper. Money's more like a concept or like an idea, like an energy. Rather, energy. It's like a tool. It is a tool. It can be a tool. But that doesn't mean that isn't what it is though. Regardless though, that's not something I have to think about is money. And you know, yeah, the first thing that comes to mind, and you know, I'm probably gonna hit my GPT query again, talking about how I can reconnect and realign with my internal measures of success. It's like what would fulfill me? What would fulfill me? How can I be fulfilled from just? Because I was just talking to Badria earlier, and I was like, really just explaining what my last YouTube video was, and it was looking at this again, and it's like, when I see this on my desk, I feel like it's not. I think one of the reasons why it's a disservice just sitting on my desk and not really doing anything is because this is not the vision that I have for it. And the vision that I have for it is like this. I think I've talked about it, but this times, in terms of scale, this times. Let me do it on camera so y'all see. A/R/5/6. I'm gonna just say 10 just to round up and whatnot, but that times 10. And it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a hard process to do it. It's just time. It just takes time and filament, but it really just takes time to produce something like that. And I think that would fulfill me. And it doesn't come from like posting it. It doesn't come from that at all. I could honestly, internally, I could honestly care less if other people saw this. But oh wow. I'm glad I'm 21. Glad I'm young blood. Glad I'm young buck. Because when I think about this, it almost makes me like, it brings on some emotions because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, my mindset for a while has been this creativity will be the thing that, my creations will be the thing that takes me far. As I say this, I'm gonna let it be a little bit more dramatic, and then I'll explain. For a while, I've had this mindset that my creations will be the thing that takes me far. But I have to realize and have to realign myself with the fact that I am the one that would take whatever I do far. I hope that was deep. I hope that sounded hard. I hope that sounded tough. Let me say that again and give myself a little future sound bite. For the past few months, I thought that my creations and the thing that I put my time into in terms of like my art and the shoes and the figurines and the clothes and all of that will take me far. But I have to realize and I have to realign myself with the fact that no matter what I do, I will go far because I am who I am. I think that was better. I think that was better. I think that was better. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was better. But it does make me it does bring on some emotions because flaws are such an interesting thing because I have flaws. I say that like yeah, I'll say I have flaws. Like I'm some like outstanding perfect person that it's almost like narcissistic in a way. And it's like yeah, I'm so perfect, but I guess I'll say I have a flaw or two. I'll guess I'll take that. Take that on the chin and whatnot. Regardless, I'll get back to the flaws point, but it brings on some emotions because that has been my mindset for a while, and that has supplied a lot of the visions for what I see in the future. But now it's like, damn, that goes into this identity stuff that I talked about a while ago. And it's because, where does this leave me? Where does this leave me? Where does this leave what I do on a daily basis? Where does this leave like my thoughts? I mean, I've been tapping into AI a lot, which is really cool. But where does this leave me? Like, I still see myself creating on a daily basis, but where does this leave myself for the future? And it's not like there's never any fear, thankfully. There's never any fear for what the future holds or what I'll be doing or if I'll be successful. There was never fear with success. Like, I know I'll be good, great. I know I'll be phenomenal. But where does that leave me in terms of what I do on a daily basis? I'm working on being more, I'm authentic myself, but I'm working on expressing that authenticity a little bit more. Like, in terms of what I'm actually feeling like. If I want to hang out, if I want some connection, I'm yearning for some connection, I'll reach out. Like, hey, even if I don't want to do anything crazy, it's like, hey, you want to chill? You want to hang out? I'm supposed to go on a hike with Maxine tomorrow. But it doesn't even matter what we do for it. It's just like I want to top it up. I want to talk to people. Obviously, we're social creatures. I was gonna say human beings are social creatures. I remember my sister said when I said human beings, like in my college essay, she said I should take it out because it makes me sound like I'm like disassociating, slash disconnecting myself with like people, and that thinking of myself as not a human being, so then I refer to people as human beings. Anyways, I am working on expressing my authenticity a little bit more. Where does that leave me? And like I said, I'm glad I'm 21 thinking about this and going through this because I could have been, I'm going to forget my age because that's what Prince did, but, and good things came from that, so he says. But where does that leave me? Oh, I'm 21, and that could have left me like, say 30, 40 years from now, getting the external validation, the external motivation, and like living from that. Like I'm a very smart person. I'm very intelligent. I know I can pick up something and succeed at it. I mean, give me a game, I'm athletic. Give me a physical game, I can pick it up really well and be really good at it. I know I can do anything. I know I can hunker down, focus, learn, and succeed. Maybe let me stop saying succeed. What's a better word than succeed that really conveys my thoughts rather than I'm only changing my words from success to something else because it's kind of been associated with this external motivation for these past few months last year. So I know I can pick up anything, and this is what reading is valuable for. Expand your vocabulary. I'm sure if I read like a book a month, then I already read one book this summer. I want to read another one just because. No real reason, but it's not like I like reading, but I like learning about different things. I like learning about the things that I'm interested in and see apply to myself. And, for some reason, like entrepreneur, these books like about entrepreneurship and really like self development really appeal to me because I don't know. It's just interesting to hear about it. It's like playing a game. Entrepreneurship is like seen it's like a game to me, to be honest. At least business is like a game to me. Like you pick up different things here and there, and you learn, and you test it out, and it may work, but then you practice and you practice and you get better. I was really good at Rocket League. Obviously not no like master at Rocket League, but I put in some amount of time. I didn't think this would be like my life, what I would dedicate my life to. But I remember I would practice. I would practice Rocket League, bro. I remember 2K. I was really good at 2K. It was just literally so natural, like flow state. Oh my gosh, bro. You couldn't touch me in 2K, bro. Like Pro Am was low key different because I wanted to play Pro Am all the time. I'm sure we would have dogged so many people. I would have been fucking. Oops. Pardon my pardon my Mandarin. I would have been dogging kids out in 2K pause because I was just so good. Man, it's been 30 minutes. This is a 30-minute video. Wow, I haven't talked for 30 minutes straight. And this last video I uploaded was 40 minutes of just no talking. But I would have dogged people out in 2K. This is all related to. This is all relevant to the conversation. Like these tangents aren't really tangents. They're still just like me conveying my thoughts and whatnot and explaining the point. But I would have dogged people out in Pro Am 2K. The only reason I did it was because of like connection and internet stuff. Like I never played with a wired connection, so the timing in my jump shot was always a little different. I didn't really put in the time to learn the timing difference based off of that internet connection. But it was a little. It is what it is. That wasn't what I was talking about. I was trying to say ante up, where you play for money, or 2K VC. But I say all that to say, I put my time into this stuff. I can get good. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can legitimately do anything. Music resonates with me so deeply. So deeply. Music resonates with me so deeply. In just that moment, I had a thought like, what if I made music? What if I made music learned? I know how to play some instruments, saxophone, piano, and I can sing pretty well. What if I learned how to make great music? As Pharrell Williams said, house music, music that could buy you a house. But immediately, that's where my thought went to. It was what if I make music not out of just joy and just, for the love of making music, but to become big, to become. Dang, you can hear the freaking footsteps upstairs? That sucks. Oh well. What if I made music for the thought of becoming big? It's okay though. My mindset is shifting for the better, thankfully. I don't know what thank God is in Arabic. I don't think I smiled. I think I've only smiled a few times during this video, but such a value in just putting a smile on your face, because no matter what you're thinking about, no matter what type of stress you're under, deep emotional turmoil. I don't be under deep emotional turmoil for real. It takes a lot for me to be under, emotional turmoil. I felt it maybe like once or twice. I'm blessed though. But regardless, like, it's a blessing to be stressed about these things. It's a blessing to, lose a little bit of clarity in this sense, at this age, at this stage, with these resources around me. It's a blessing to lose a little bit of clarity and lose a sense of your old identity. It's a blessing because I'm dealing with this and not other things. It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to know that everything will work out. It's such a blessing to look around me and be aware of my own awareness and aware of the fact that I'm in this world with a purpose. Now, what that purpose is, figuring that out and understanding that. Because, the old thing that I would say is that my purpose in this life is just to fulfill myself, and that's very self-centered. But that's because I would think like, man, what if, like, I can't prove anybody else's existence, so it just must be me here. But I've had different thoughts about that over the years. And it's not exactly where I am. It's not where I am. But, I've thought about, being aware in this moment of like my awareness, seeing this figurine on my desk. Seeing that figurine on my desk. You know what would be the craziest thing? Which doesn't feel like it's externally motivated, but it's like helping people. That being my purpose. It's like help people gain clarity, to help people move through this life in a way that is fulfilling to themselves. Essentially just talking about my life and that being enough to help people and change people. Because I'm making these videos for myself. Thankfully, I don't think about how many views I get. I'm low-key confused at some of the videos that, like, I posted one video, it has 36 views now. Who's watching that? Some would say, like, if you're really posting this for yourself, then you should post it private. But, there is something in the back of my head that's like, man, I'll post these right now, then like 20 years later, somebody's gonna dig this up and be like, oh wow, look at this phenomenal man. Almost at that 40-minute mark. I got 10 more minutes till this is gonna be almost an hour-long video. An hour just of me just straight talking to the camera. I feel it's not fog. I feel like there's been something. I feel like I've been thinking. I feel like there's been something weighing on my mind. It's not something weighing on my mind. I feel like that I've added a little bit of weight to my mind. I think that's the better way to say it. Weight to my just little mental space. But that's because of like the shift in identity, the shift in mindset. Talks with Zaina about how I could be better and how how she felt disrespected and just, yeah, how I could be better. But then there's also this thought of when I turn off this camera and get back to designing this shoe, what do I do if I'm not doing this? I think the only thing that really makes me question what do I do is because I think I said this before, but for a while I would say that my creations would take me far. I did say this, and bring the big B's, big billions, as Trump would say. Bring the big B's. But that doesn't have to come. I don't think that stopped recording. Thank the Lord. I don't think that stopped recording. I'm getting a little cold. I'm gonna go put a shirt on. Don't look. I don't have pants on. Well, I do, but you saw them. Oh, what do I wear? What do I wear to sleep? What do I wear to sleep? What do I wear to sleep? I like tight stuff. I've been liking my slimmer shirts. I don't have any white slim shirts though. Actually, I do, but they're kind of like lower quality, to be honest. This shirt is a little. Hopefully, I'm not like completely butt naked in the camera. Who cares? This shirt is like a little too tight. It'll like suffocate me. This shirt is okay. I think I might wear this. These shirts weren't originally meant to like go to sleep in, but they're kind of old. I don't know how to get yellowing out of the shirt, out of white clothes yet, but some of them are kind of yellowing. These are comfortable, 100% cotton. I think these might become some of my new sleep shirts. These are H&M shirts. But the nigga said I look like Jesus with my locks. My dad said I look like Jesus too. I like all white. I'm not a snow bunny hopper though. What makes me look like Jesus? But The Dia said I look a lot like Jesus, especially because of my locks. I have this desire to wear all white outfits. But what makes me look like Jesus? I don't know. I don't know. It'll work out. It'll work out. Thankfully. I think today was the last time I'll be speaking to Zaina for a while. Bro, I wanna play like this. I wanna play Mario Kart, but I wanna play it with the homies. Like I don't wanna just play it by myself. I did that for too long growing up. Like, you know, I love my sisters, but they ain't never played no games with me for real. They did here and there. You know, I am appreciative for them playing with me. But you know, I understand why my cousin Oba would. I think he wanted like to play games with me. I think, but that's because he didn't have any siblings to either. Well, he didn't have siblings. I have siblings, but he didn't have anybody to play with. I didn't either. I also didn't have like Xbox Live or anything, so we couldn't really play with each other. But like I would ask my sister to at least just like be in the same room or even be in the living room while I play the game. They don't even have to play it, or even they could watch. Just be in the same room. And as of right now, like when I went back home for winter break, it was okay. Them just being in the same room. It was okay with my family just being in the same room and while I play the game. Because it's not really about like me playing the game and them watching and them engaging with it. It's just like that level of connection and just that that connection, just being in the same space. It's not even like you gotta engage with what I'm doing or I gotta engage with what you're doing, but yeah. And like, you know, I do have a friend that has a Switch right now, but I don't really want to talk to them because you know, I think it's very valuable to, I think it's very important to watch who you hang around and watch what types of, I was just telling Badria about this. It's important to watch who you hang around and be wary of like the voices that is around you and what you intake and the seeds that are planted in your mind because they can grow. Don't let them grow. Don't let the wrong seeds grow that you would not say are conducive to who you are as a person, who you want to be, who the best version of you is, like if you want to say that. And I think in hanging around that person, no names will be named just for no naming sake. But in hanging around that person, they have some mindsets and they have some thoughts and some paradigms that I don't align with, and I think would actually be pretty non-conducive of my long-term being who I seek to be, and I get the best version of myself. Or they gonna get what? Yeah, I think they weren't really conducive for my long-term being who I want to be. In a way, I'm over here playing Mario Kart, and y'all can't see it. I'm just like not talking to the camera, or not looking at the camera, but just like talking to it. Oh shit! Come on, Daisy. Oh, she got this red shell in front of me. I'm gonna let her chill in first place for a sec. No way, this ghost just took my freaking banana. Got him. Got him. Sniped it with this green shell, boy. Yeah, come on now. But yeah, I do have a friend that has a Switch, and I would, it would be just easy to be like, hey, pull up. I'll bust your behind in Mario Kart right now. It'd be easy, but some things gotta get sacrificed. Fudge. See ya, bozo. Yeah, some things gotta get sacrificed. Loki finna stop recording soon because why am I recording in? Why am I recording in No! And not looking at the camera. Anyways, yeah, everything will work out. Like, Clarence, whenever the next time you look at this, who knows? You'll look at this when you need to. I know you will. And it'll be right for that moment in time. And whatever I said in this video will put something in your mind that'll give you clarity or give you the answer on something, how to move forward, or, it'll just remind you of who you are. Hopefully, in the best way possible. But, dang, I'm in first by a lot. Yeah, just remind you of who you are and who you're capable of being, and that's anybody. And what you're capable of doing, and that's anything. That's anything. Anything. Dang, no blue shells? Crazy. I think I'm done. I'm not gonna sit here while I'm playing Mario Kart.